weekend, a few friends and I decided we really wanted to go to the Redskins game. We were super pumped, jumped into the car, and drove down to FedEx Field. When we got there, parking was $50. We were broke, we were still in school, so there was no way that was going to happen. So we promptly turned the car around and looked for anything that might be cheaper than this. Eventually, we got lucky. Found a guy standing in his driveway, holding a sign saying, "Park here, $10." So we parked in the space, paid the $10, and it ended up working out really well. It was cheap, and it saved us a lot of time after the event. Unfortunately, it was a real hassle, and we had to get lucky for this. So what this whole experience taught me was that parking sucks. Parking is a pain for a few reasons. It's really expensive, costs you an arm and a leg. Even if you're willing to pay the price, usually you're left trying to fit in a garage where there aren't any spaces. And even if you overcome all of this, it still takes forever. Whether it's circling the block for an hour or waiting 2 hours to get out of the lot after a concert, it's really time consuming. We thought this was such a pain that we felt compelled to solve the problem. And our solution is a community marketplace for parking. Now, simply Airbnb, but for parking. So let's say you own a driveway in the city, downtown in Baltimore, DC. You can go online, very quickly set up your account, and rent your space out to a community of drivers to start earning cash just for having a driveway. Let's say this is Bob back here, and Bob's in DC. He's a college student though, so he doesn't have a car, but he has a driveway that sits empty. You know, he could very quickly go online and earn an extra maybe $1,000 a year just for having a driveway. That's a ton of school books. So consider myself, the person driving into the city looking for parking. Wouldn't it have been great if I could have gone online, found a parking space that was cheap before I ever left home, and paid for it right there? Or if I'd forgotten, gone on my cell phone, and found a parking around me, and parked right away, saving time and money, it would have been so much easier. Now let's look at a little video that shows you exactly how we do this.
So, you're headed downtown this weekend for the big game. Keys? Check. Wallet? Check. Tickets? Check. Parking? Parking can sometimes turn a 2-hour event into a 5-hour saga. Arrive early and you might get one of the 10,000 spots in a mega lot. Arrive a little late and it's every car for himself. You're circling the block for hours and it's survival of the fittest. Let's face it, public parking can get really expensive. Parking lots get full fast. And even if you manage to get a spot in the mega lot, we all know the hassle of trying to get out fast at the end of the night. There must be something better than this. Friends, there is an answer. Consider the wisdom of Parking Panda. With Parking Panda, you can connect with people who have an empty private parking space. Go online to parkingpanda.com, search the area where you're going, and when you'll be there, and voila! Instantly, you get a map and pinpoints of all available spots. Reserve a spot, pay online, and you're all set. The best part is that Parking Panda is mobile and works in real time. So even if you didn't have time to go online before you left the house, you can access Parking Panda with your smartphone. Find a spot, pay electronically, park, and get on with your day. If you own an empty private parking space, you could be making money with Parking Panda. Set up an account on parkingpanda.com, upload a picture of your parking spot, set your own price, and watch the money roll in. When someone rents your parking spot, you'll be notified by email. Parking Panda is a new way to alleviate the pain of parking in your city. Save money, time, and relax, because your parking spot is waiting for you. Check out parkingpanda.com today to get started. Parking Panda, a community marketplace for parking.
So, now that we know exactly how it works, the next question for most people, particularly the New Yorkers who haven't owned a car or probably even seen a driveway in a few years, is how big is this? How many people really care? Well, last year, alright, big number. Over $20 billion was spent on parking just in the US. Let's look at a few examples of how that breaks down. At a single Ravens game, the team collects over $750,000 each time. At a bigger event like the Cherry Blossom Festival in DC, over $5 million spent on parking. But it's not just events, it's people driving into the city for dinner, or importantly, commuters. In a city like Philadelphia, where almost 500,000 people commute to and from the city daily, over $20 million is spent on parking each month. Clearly, there's a lot of money flowing through this market. How do we take a piece? It's pretty simple. Every time someone parks in one of our parking spaces, we take 20%, and then we pass the rest on to the parking space owner. Just found money for these people. Works out great. So clearly we can get a lot of money coming through this very quickly. How do you know that we're going to be able to do it? Let's look at a little bit of early traction. We launched just a few weeks ago at the Grand Prix in Baltimore. That was only 2 weeks after finishing our website, and we were able to get over 100 people to park at that very first event. So if we did that in 2 weeks, think about the next 2 months and the next 2 years. It only grows from there. Plus, the press loves this as well. We're solving a real pain for people, and they're excited to write about it. And most importantly, there's the team. There's Adam and myself. Adam's been programming for over 15 years. He was the lead engineer at Gap Software, where he built enterprise software for Fortune 500 companies, so he knows how to build this at scale. And he started his own company in the past. Myself, after finishing at Georgetown, I went to work in product strategy at Living Social and at Group Commerce. So my whole career has been spent mobilizing offline to online commerce. Online to offline commerce, excuse me. Just like we're doing here. So now that we have a big problem, a great solution, and the team to execute, what comes now? What's the next step? Right now, we're live in Baltimore. But from here, we need to continue to grow in this city and ultimately expand to DC and Philadelphia as well. We picked these 3 cities to start for a number of reasons. We know them incredibly well, but also the fact that they're great cities for this. They're very close to one another, a lot of people commute back and forth, and they're great network effects that allow us to grow organically very well in each of these 3 cities. Plus, each one represents over $500 million spent on parking each year. So they're 3 huge markets. And once we really prove the model in these 3 markets, that's when we grow nationally and internationally, until there are pandas pretty much everywhere. And to get started on this, that's where we need your help. We're raising a $750,000 seed round to get us from where we are today, that one city in Baltimore, to really grow deeply into Baltimore, expand to the next 2 cities, and reach the couple biggest markets, and really prove out this model and start generating real traction and real revenue. So if you believe as much as we do that parking really does suck, please come find myself, Adam, or our mascot, the giant panda, after the event.